week's episode of Afternoon Express. We're opening up to Youth Day
as we join footballing great Ryan Botha coaching a new generation of South African football stars.
Catch up with two-time Olympian and skateboarding phenomenon Valjalo. South African dance group Baba Yaya are uplifting the youth through dance and movement.
And the talented cast of Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoats are giving youthful energy to a popular classic.
This week, we're at a property by acclaimed interior design visionary Nosisi Gcabashe.
Hello Mzansi and welcome to the show. Now, one of South Africa's greatest assets is the positive energy and unmatched talents of the incredible young people we have in our country.
Well said, Ayanda. Now, this week's location is House Gcabashe, designed and owned by Nosisi Gcabashe, the Chief Design Officer of IX Interiors. Mentored by the esteemed Dorothy van Riet, Nosisi is using her skills to bring her clients' hopes, dreams and aspirations to life.
Nosisi's passion for interior design began in her early childhood, influenced by her mother and grandmother, who both cherished beautiful surroundings and passed down their passion to her.
This place is absolutely phenomenal. I see you have creepers on the outside. What was the inspiration behind the exterior?
Thank you so much, Ayanda, for the compliment. The house was built in 2002. We wanted a very classical feel. Obviously, the garden as well had to talk to the house. So the landscaper planted these tall trees to resemble the balusters that you see up there. And then the driveway as well, the colors of the cobbles had to match the paint. And what we did a few years later, we planted the creeper, and it's what it is today.
I love that you touched on how the cobbles matched the house. It speaks to the fact that you're not only the owner of the house, but also the interior designer behind it.
Yes, thank you. I am an interior designer. My company is called Interior Classics, even though I did take a break for a few years and I came back with a bang last year. And I'm enjoying it. I must say, second time around, I'm really enjoying it.
Well, I cannot wait to see the inside. Can we head in?
Yes, of course. Follow me.
Nosisi believes in living boldly, and this is reflected in her design philosophy. She embraces a traditional style with an irreverent yet classic signature.
Oh my goodness! The space is absolutely phenomenal. I love the design that you've chosen. We're in the living room at the moment. Can you please walk me through the inspiration of the design of the living spaces?
The inspiration behind the interiors of the whole house is based on where I come from. I was surrounded by beautiful things, from my grandmother's house to my mother's house. And I can safely say it's an inborn inspiration based on personal values, desires for self-improvement and passion.
There's some bold color choices, layering of fabrics. Why that choice?
My style is very classic, very traditional, and influenced by the Regency era. The Regency era is characterized by rich fabrics, silks, velvets, the gilding, the dado rails, the pillars. It's just so rich and exuberant.
And the lighting is exceptional. We have this phenomenal chandelier and light fixtures against the wall. Why those choices?
Crystal chandeliers, they bring such luxury in a room. The glitter and the luxury says it all. The mirror was not done for us to see ourselves. It was done for the reflection of the chandelier.
While Nosisi strives for an elegant aesthetic for her home, she also knows the importance of creating an inviting space that embodies rest and relaxation.
Oh my goodness, my Gcabashe, this space is so inviting.
As you can see, this is a less formal space than the interior of the house. This is the patio where we sit and relax. And what I love about this room is that you can open the folding doors and you feel like you're outside even though you're inside. So when you're here, you see the view of the whole yard. That makes it very nice and relaxing.
And I truly get that sense. I have the sun touching my skin even though I'm inside. What emotions are you hoping to evoke in visitors that come into this space?
I want them to feel relaxed. I want them to be at peace. and psychological and physical comfort. This is my favorite space, Ayanda. My favorite couch. This is where I love to sit and snuggle.
This is such an amazing space. I am so surprised by how comfortable this space is because it looks so elegant. How did you manage to find that balance between elegance and comfort?
Comfort was more prioritized in this project. I know when you come in, you see luxury and beautiful colors, but at the same time, it's a very eclectic room. It's not as formal as the other rooms. The couch is semi-modern, very comfortable, and the TV cabinet is also very modern. I took the colors from the commode just to make the place look relaxed and elegant at the same time, but very comfortable.
Now you are wearing two hats, you're homeowner and you're the interior designer. How do you decide when to follow the trends of what's happening in the interior space versus doing something on your own instinct?
To be honest with you, I don't follow trends. I follow my own instincts. With my clients as well, I always try and give them my ideas, and then we take it from there. This is the main bedroom, Ayanda. The colors are not very different from downstairs, except that here it's the gold and the lilacs. I like the colors and the textures of the fabric. I've got velvets, I've got the paisley colors, I've got gold lamps, and the mirrors and the headboard were manufactured by a very good friend of mine who's into gilding, and the chairs were from my parents' house. When they were downsizing, they wanted to get rid of them. So I decided to take them and decided to have them gilded to match the headboard and the mirrors. The bathroom is not as classic as the bedroom. I wanted something light and fresh and modern.
Ma, this is such a beautiful kitchen, big, spacious, somehow has color and it's warm. Can you please tell me about the structure and the design of the kitchen?
Because we spent most of our time in this kitchen, we converge here as a family and have our meals. We decided to have this centerpiece with these chairs where we could sit and have our meals. Above the table, I decided to have this chandelier with hand-painted rosette for illumination and just for luxury.
And in your kitchen, I see beautiful crockery on these displays.
I love to be surrounded by beautiful things, my crystals and my china, and I wanted to see them every day. When I come in here, I want to look and just feel good about myself. This is the formal dining room. It's also influenced by the Regency era. The color theme, it flows from the kitchen, as you can see, from the chairs to the chairs in the dining room. It all flows very nicely up until the lounge as well.
It's been such a beautiful day of learning about your home and learning about the interior decor space, but I want to focus on you as an interior designer. Where do you see the future of your company going?
Being the second time around, I'm enjoying interior design even more, and I'm hoping it will get better from here.
And for the young people entering the interior design space, what words of encouragement do you have for them to navigate and thrive as much as you have?
It's a very exciting industry, interior design. And I have no doubt they are coming with such excitement and they are passionate about it. It's a very big cake. We all have a share in it. They must just go in there and follow their instinct and enjoy it.
Lovely. Thank you so much for having me in your home. I've learned so much today.
You're welcome, Ayanda.
You can truly see how Nosisi's philosophy embraces a classic traditional style through luxurious fabrics and colorful features, giving her work a distinct signature. Now this is a rising star to watch out for.
Absolutely, and what an incredible home it is. Up next, we meet with dance company Baba Yaya to learn more about their grassroots initiatives for kids in need. Okay, Okay, now Mzansi, it is time to get those bodies moving with Baba Yaya, a South African dance theatre company dedicated to training and developing passionate youngsters from under-resourced communities. They use dance as a form of communication, self-expression and healing for those in need.
With Baba meaning grandfather and Yaya grandmother, as its name suggests, guiding the youth is their mission. Co-founder and creative director Benjamin Nivison saw a need for a holistic approach to youth empowerment.
Baba Yaya is a South African dance company. Our primary focus is very much job creation within the sector, specifically for youth. When I think about how Baba Yaya has influenced the youth, everything happens over time. So I would say first and foremost, through all of our productions and all of our shows, the language we present, the style we present, how that excites the youth, how we bring in lots of teenagers and high school students from all the different locations. And this is why we transitioned from an academy into a company, is I don't think in South Africa we can underestimate what a job is for a 21, 22, 23-year-old.
The approach is nurturing, giving students the feeling of being part of a welcoming and embracing family.
The medium of dance and also just the industry really helps us focus in our daily lives where mental health is a massive struggle. We wake up every day to different realities and we are different people, different dancers. And I think this is just our way to kind of pass the baton forward and to almost just survive, which brings me back to a show that we did over Leaf last year and we're doing it again this year. And basically it means to survive and to use what God gave you. And well, He gave us our crafts and that's how we use it as a medium to survive.
With its rigorous dance, performance and musically orientated curriculum, Baba Yaya aims to transform its students into creative leaders of the future.
So what inspired me to do dance is my father, is my dad. So I used to dance with my father growing up since a young age. And growing up into that, I kind of had love for it. And I connected to it so much. And then last year, I studied at the Rainbow Academy. And now that was my bridge to Baba Yaya.
To me, dance is self-expression. It's being who I am, is embracing my authenticity and my style, my vibe, and just even asking myself, like, who am I, you know? Not like, how do I do things? How do I show that I feel good to me? Just, I guess it's just embracing who I am. We make works that also talk about mental health a lot. The struggles that people don't talk about in terms of depression and anxiety, and also just all these social expectations that everyone just experiences. And I'd say with me, all those stories are very relatable because as much as the choreographer gave us a story, we had to find our story in that story. And for me, it has helped me process a lot of the emotions that I didn't know how to process and also allow myself to feel what I needed to heal.
The piece you will be seeing is called Baiana, and it's a song about community. So it really speaks about pulling people together and from different cultures, and mostly predominantly in the song, it's from Brazil, but it also just speaks about different communities, different cultures, different languages, different people coming together, being a unity, and just sharing despite of our circumstances and where we come from.
I would love to share the story with Abantwana who don't have access to the story, whom I don't even know what happened here, the history and where all of this is coming from. Because they have a thing of not being able to communicate and they have their own POVs that, these people don't want us and all that. So I would love them to become more human and just for them to come across these people and live freely.
I would love us to really establish ourselves as a legitimate, professional and serious dance company that youth from all of these communities like Nyanga, Philippi, Khayelitsha, Gugulethu, Mitchell's Plain, it's like they're like, that's my company. That's the company, like almost like South Africans have the Springboks. This is what I want Baba Yaya to become, the company for the people. For our current group of dancers, I would love them to travel more. I would love them to earn bigger incomes, support their families in a greater way, and also become leaders in the space. Teachers, choreographers, creators, build training programs in their areas, which already some of them are doing, and genuine leaders.
We are a very young company for now, but I definitely want to see them soar. I want them to take the Baba Yaya banner and run with it, and also just become their own artists. So Baba Yaya liberating creative excellence, and I believe that each one of them, the people that came before in the academy, the now company, and even the future of Baba Yaya will really just soar and just live their best lives and live their own truth, and also know that they have a purpose, and that is why God has put them on this planet. And yeah, Baba Yaya all the way.
Baba Yaya's dedication to educating and uplifting the youth is absolutely inspiring. Success comes from planning, focus and dedication. This development and encouragement of talent is also of great importance to our friends at ABSA.
As we celebrate Youth Month, we turn to shine the spotlight on young entrepreneurs who are building a strong future with bold moves.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at how ABSA is turning their stories into legacies.
Welcome to the Gcabashe show with ABSA. Tell me about where everything started. I'm going to start with you.
I knew I wanted to be a chef. This is the thing I want to do.
This first year, I made no money at all. I think we made 200 Rand in the first year.
We started with 0 vehicles.
But I'm not it.
Yeah.
So I went and stood outside in the rain.
We had 17 Rand.
Oh my word, I absolutely love this Gcabashe show. The fact that ABSA gets to shine a spotlight on young professionals in a space, that's incredible. And what do you think it means for them to have a corporate giant like ABSA backing them?
So important. You know, growing up, wanting to go into the entrepreneurial space, it is daunting, it is scary, and there's a lot of imposter syndrome that goes into it. But having a giant like ABSA, you know, coming in with that red banner, backing you, saying we believe in you, saying we see your vision and we're willing to invest in that vision. For me, it's absolutely priceless. It's being able to empower that next generation of entrepreneurs, those young people with the vision, the innovation, who want to make that difference, elevate them into a place of empowerment and take over. And for me, that's what it's all about.
Just to know that you don't have to wait long to have that support is such a beautiful encouragement as well.
Yeah, and if I were to echo ABSA's sentiments of storytelling, not only does your story matter, but every single entrepreneur has a step-by-step almost formula that allowed them to elevate in the way that they have. Why do you believe that's important, Ayanda? That ability to tell your story, share your story, trials and tribulations.
Storytelling is a way of passing on knowledge to the next generation. And I always want to come from it from a place of the pageantry space that I entered. Being a short girl, being a black girl, it's not something you saw in the space, and that's when I realized that representation matters. So it's not just telling a story, it's representation. You're young, you're black, you're from this township, or you're white and you're from this neighborhood. But it's so important for somebody that is in those circumstances to see somebody doing it.
And that's what it's all about, changing the story, changing the narrative, and being able to claim your power within the entrepreneurial space.
Oh, absolutely. And it almost has like a ripple effect, don't you think? It's like when that one domino gets pushed down and the rest follow. Do you think it's a positive effect though?
Girl, it's realness. It's just about being real. And of course, when you are real, when you're authentic, and when you are honest about your story, it has no choice but to affect the next person. Public perception is still a thing, very much in our society. Whether it's on social media or any other platform, you decide to showcase yourself on. And for me, that is what it's about. The public, at the end of the day, will get a relatable story.
Yeah.
A real story, an authentic, homegrown story, and one that is able to inspire.
Oh, that is so beautiful, just echoing those sentiments of hearing something, seeing it, and achieving it.
Reflecting on this conversation, Ayanda, the one sentiment that keeps coming up is changing the narrative as to who leads and who grows and how they do so in a perfect ecosystem.
This is what I love about the time that we're living in. We're about pushing those narratives and growing out of those boxes that we've been put in. In the traditional sense, you'd have to be in the industry for a long time, 10 years, with a big portfolio to prove why you deserve funding, why you deserve this kind of support. But now they're just saying, come to us with an idea, show us the work that you've done already, and let's see where we can meet you. Like ABSA is so special for that because they live We See Your Story. And now they moved to We See Your Story. And they're showing that to us by saying, come to us as you are. We'll see how we can help you to elevate, and then you grow with us. It's a journey that we're both taking and they're holding our hand.
It reminds me of the idea of humanizing business. And for me, this is what I want to celebrate. It's about humanizing the 16-year-old with that t-shirt company, the farmer Eklopo who is truly putting his life savings into that family business. Whether you're young, whether you're old, it is all about what you're putting onto the table and how ABSA is able to innovate it. Incredible work with a real impact. Now that's how ABSA is helping reshape the next generation of leaders.
By simply giving them a platform to rise, lead, and grow.
Coming up, we catch up with two-time Olympian and skateboarding phenomenon, Valjalo.
Now we meet another exceptional young South African, Valjalo.
Brandon burst onto the professional skateboarding scene at the age of 14, winning the SA Championship and the Kimberley Diamond Cup. 13 years later, he is a two-time Olympian with many other accolades under his belt. And he says he's just getting started.
Life as an athlete can be tough, but things get even more crazy when you're studying for a degree in marketing and running your own business. This is the dedication and passion it takes to be a sporting legend in the making.
Today we are at the YBF Plaza Skateboarding Park in Sandton to meet up with two-time South African Olympian Valjalo. And today he'll be teaching yours truly a trick or two on the skateboard. Let's go meet him. Now, it is incredible for me that you could fit us in your busy schedule. You just came back from an exam, which is absolutely crazy. How are the studies going? What are you studying? Tell us more.
Yeah, so I finished my final finance exam today. It's been kind of stressful these past few weeks, but I think that this marketing degree is only going to be able to help me a lot more in promoting my own personal brand and actually understanding what it entails to run my own business.
Do you think that being in school interferes in any way with your skateboarding career or vice versa?
Yeah, it all comes down to time management skills. So I would wake up a little bit earlier every single morning to kind of just focus on my university work. Once I get it done and out of the way, I have the rest of the day to be able to focus on my career and focus on my skateboarding and training and working on specific tricks. So I don't think it actually does limit me in any kind of way. It all comes down to actually just figuring out how to manage my time a lot better.
From stepping on a skateboard for the first time at 3 years old to winning his first competition at the age of 9, this has been a part of his life for as long as he can remember.
I'm a high heels girl through and through. Everybody knows this to be true, but I'm pretty sure I can try this barefoot, right?
Most definitely. If you want to wear your high heels for style, you can, but it's just going to add that difficulty factor. The judges might give you a better score for sure if you wear the high heels. But yeah, for safety, you can definitely do it barefoot. All right, so I know you're super enthusiastic and you want to give it a shot. My first thing is always trust the process.
Okay.
Try and fail, but never fail to try.
Oh, I love that. I'm using that everywhere I go now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing when you get into skateboarding that every skater would try and do is be able to start going down certain ramps. Basically, you're gonna have your first foot in front of you over here, over the bolts.
Okay.
And then you're gonna have your back foot that you're gonna push with. And as you push, you're gonna get a steady stance, wider stance. As you're coming down, lean forward. And watch the direction with your head that you're going.
Okay.
Okay. And then bending your knees, you realize that when you stand with the wider stance, you're also more stable. Like if somebody had to try push you over, they won't be able to because you're more stable the wider your stance. So always try get your feet over the bolts.
Okay.
And if you need help from the pushing part, I can help you from there before then.
Okay, so let me get really serious about this. Take off this big jacket that could potentially hold me back from greatness.
Let's go, let's go.
And these ridiculous shoes.
Perfect.
Listen, if I'm good at this, I'm getting sneakers after this.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right, so basically the first thing we're gonna figure out is which stance you skate. And that all comes down to feeling how comfortable you are. So We're gonna start like this. I want you to jump and turn to the side and feel if this feels more comfortable, or if you jump and turn to this side if that feels more comfortable.
Let's, okay, feel
How does
like
that
I'm
feel?
not so good, like I'm falling apart. I think we found it.
There we go. That means you're a goofy skater.
Okay.
Okay, let me get this side. I'm gonna hold it stable for you.
Appreciate
Get that
that.
front foot in the bolts over there.
Like
Back
you
foot
said.
there.
Okay.
Use your arms for balance.
The most important step in any new venture is your first. It might seem scary, but after that, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities.
Some would say I'm a pro.
If there's one thing that this piece of wood has taught me is that tenacity is key, and that you're not actually going to get it right the first time. It comes down to being able to get back up, try again, and be able to persevere. And then you use that trial and error to be able to figure out how you can do it perfectly. So the more time you put into it, the better the results are going to be.
Brandon's efforts have borne fruit. He's won numerous competitions, making him a South African national champion, world youth champion, and an African continental champion.
Obviously, competing at the Olympic Games is the pinnacle of all kind of sports, and it's the highest level you can get to. And obviously, representing South Africa and my country and my people is a dream come true and an honor, to say the least. The two experiences differ a lot, especially because Tokyo was during the COVID-19 pandemic, so that meant that there was no spectators at all allowed at the venue. And then moving into Paris, it was a whole different environment, a whole different atmosphere. It was in the city of Paris, so it wasn't in the stadium. So it felt like we were really in the heart of Paris, there by the Place de la Concorde, which was such a beautiful location too. And I had all my friends and my family there supporting, and it felt like it was a really amazing experience to be able to feel the environment and the atmosphere of a real Olympic Games. I call it a real one, but my first real experience of a crowd like that watching a skateboarding event. And I think that the course was also built in a way that was way better. And I felt like my overall performance in Paris was better, which helped me move from 18th place to 12th place in the world after the Paris Olympics. In these next 5 years, I definitely still think I'm young enough to be able to focus on the 2028 Olympics. I also want to be more integrated in the community, so I want to go to more underdeveloped countries around the world, not just India, but also throughout the whole of Africa, and be able to work on certain programs that can let skateboarding have its heartbeat around the world. So I think that's what I'm really looking forward to, and really giving back to skateboarding, which gave me this life that I'm actually so grateful for.
And for the young rising star watching the show today, what words of encouragement do you have for them on this Youth Day?
For the up-and-coming stars, I know that they're right around the corner. I can see how hungry and how motivated they are. And I think what it comes down to is just trusting the process, you know? There's gonna be days that are harder than others. There's gonna be moments that you're feeling like you failed, but you're actually still gonna have to persevere. But at the end of the day, if you trust the process, you will get there.
It is not every day that one gets to spend time with an Olympian, Mzansi, but when you live in a diverse, multicultural rainbow nation like ours, it is clear why skateboarding champion Brandon Valjalo represents the very top tier that our nation has to be proud of this Youth Day.
You're not walking in heels. You're skating in heels. You should have kept them on.
Girl, balance is not my game, but what an incredible young man. It just goes to show how the sky is the limit for our youth. With enough grit and determination, there is nothing we cannot achieve.
Coming up, we check in with national treasure and retired footballing great Ryan Botha to find out how he is giving back to the community.
Ryan Botha is a model, personal trainer, and a retired professional footballer. And to the youth of this country, he is both an icon and an absolute role model.
When he's not busy at his gym or posing for covers of leading magazines, Ryan is coaching our youth to spread the love of football and nurture our next generation of athletes.
Gcabashe made up with Ryan at his gym in Cape Town.
It's my first time here at Rider Fitness Gymnasium and Siren Studios, and I am excited to catch up with one of South Africa's most loved sports personalities, Mr. Ryan Botha. Hello. So lovely to see you. Ryan, you have gone from pro footballer to owning your own gym and being a personal trainer. How long after retirement did you get into personal training?
It kind of fell into my lap, to be honest with you. 2 years, 3 years. So what happened was I was training myself in the gym and I had a guy come up to me regarding a new class here starting in Cape Town. He said to me, listen, love your vibe. Now you're an ex-sportsman trying to create this cool thing called sweat. Do you want to get involved? I went, okay, cool. So for a year I was there and people asked me to train them individually, and for me it was just getting education, make sure I was a proper PT. Yeah, I was from there actually, through 2.5 years.
What's the best part of owning your own gym?
The freedom to train people in my own capacity. I feel like a lot of gyms can be quite rigid, and I feel like having your own space, you can implement your own way, your own philosophy of training people, allow your trainers around you their own freedom to sort of express themselves, because fitness is dependent on the person you're training. Yes, there's a certain structure to it, but the person you're training determines where the structure goes. That freedom allows me to be, I think, the best coach I can be.
You are known for your incredibly healthy lifestyle. What does a typical day look like in your life?
Let's go from, say, Monday to Friday. I'll be up most those mornings 4:15 in the morning. I like to get up quite early because I start work at 6, which means I need time to get myself up properly. So when I arrive, I'm fully energized for my clients. By then, 25 to 6, I start looking to leave, get to the gym, prep my day with my clients, start through. I'll be here till 8. Hopefully at 8:30, 9:30, get my own session in if possible. If not, I'll be shooting through a client's house. In that morning process, depending when I get my gap, we'll do my breakfast. Plus a session in the mid-morning online or with the clients on the promenade. Then, if not in the morning training, I train myself then, okay? Then promenade sessions, football kids, a lot of private football sessions with private kids between the ages of 8. Actually, my youngest is 6, but from 6 to about 16, 17, 18. 10 to 15 kids who specialize, who want to specialize. The younger kids, obviously, it's just for enjoyment. So how you train them is very specialized and very different. But that's my afternoon. And then football in the evenings again, coaching my boys at Shosha.
You are quite the family man, and I know that your family means so much to you. Are you looking forward to Father's Day this year?
I am, obviously with me and my son's mom not being together, from young age, it was not your conventional Father's Day, so you make do with it as it is. But obviously being a dad it changed my perspective on a lot of things. Obviously my dad has been a role model to me and my parents have been fantastic and I love my brothers. I'm very family orientated. But becoming a dad, only then can you really grasp a different understanding of what your parents may have done for you. So it wasn't your conventional Father's Day, but yes, I look forward to it every year. It's the blessing knowing he's there.
Ryan, I believe that you and I are going to have a training session together. I don't know how I feel about it, but please go easy on me. Over here?
Yep, perfect.
Okay.
Right, to get you started off here first, we're going to your VMO sumo squats. Let's go for 10 reps. Pick it up, using your breath. That's breathing in, breathing out. Okay, in and out. You're going to go into a hammer curl, shoulder press. Lovely, bring it down one more for me. At the base, drop it. There we go. Lovely workout, well done.
Thank you, that was amazing.
Did you enjoy that?
I loved it.
We're going to head through now to my football training. The boys will start arriving soon. I like to be prepped before they get there. So when they get there, they know exactly what's expected.
Let's do it.
Ryan is developing the football stars of tomorrow at Shosholoza FC. Their goal is to help the youth become players who have the skills to succeed not only in sport, but in life as well.
A lot of these young men come from backgrounds that don't afford them a lot of opportunity. How does that motivate your coaching?
When you see these youngsters that have a blank canvas, really, they don't come from much, just pure ambition and heart. It motivates me because if I can give 5% of these kids a chance to get an education or progress into life somewhere through football, then I've done my job, right? And even if they can't, and I've created, or I've at least helped create much better human beings, much better men, then at least there's some success there. At this level where I'm coaching now, we're not judged on wins, we're judged on how many people become professional athletes or become better men.
Some of these young men have had the exciting opportunity to represent South Africa overseas. Tell us a bit more about that.
Richard Wilson, he is the owner of the club. You got Clinton Roberts, they're the two big boys in the club, and I'm the head of football. Richard's dream was always to take a club from South Africa to a tournament in Barcelona in Spain. 2020, COVID hits, I was coaching this team then to go to Barcelona, and then COVID, stopped that dream. 2 years ago, he called me saying, we're back, COVID's gone, can you please come help me get this dream started? I want to take some young boys to Spain. It was now in Madrid, called the Mad Cup. The objective was just to go and compete and see if our young boys who have sort of missed a lot of development windows, can they compete internationally? So we went across, 12 out of 16 team, we competed beautifully. The boys showed themselves up well. We had some clubs overseas being interested in who we are and what we're about. And so the dream began.
How can one support the dreams and the goals of these young men?
Firstly, we're a club that wants to give players a chance to go overseas if possible, professional athlete. If not, to America or somewhere to get a better education, but also through football means. So people are getting involved by always sponsoring the club. Sponsorships help us set the platform, set the foundation for these young boys to develop. It helps us to give them the platform to kick on, hopefully. Helps us give them a safe space. So sponsorships help us make this field an area that will attract them down more and hopefully keep them up the streets.
We are about to celebrate Youth Day in a few days' time. Why do you think now, more than ever, it is important to remember and support our youth?
I think if we can focus more on our youth and put more intention in what we're trying to teach them and why we're trying to teach them those things, I think we might be surprised. South Africans are resilient, we are passionate, we love our country, and I think the issues are a lot less than what we think they are. I think the focus is put into things a lot more than what it should be. And I honestly believe that the youth is the future. And the more I see these young boys grow over 18 months of me working with them and just being consistent with them, I realize how much potential in our youth in this country really there is.
So, Coach, we've warmed up in the gym. We're on the pitch. What do you think about you teaching me how to score a goal?
I think in South Africa we lack scorers. I mean, Benny McCarthy, Sean Botha, two of the biggest names. Since then we've struggled. I think it's time we create a young female athlete that scores goals for us. What do you think?
Why not? Why not me? Let's do it.
Come.
This is about giving South Africa's future role models, mentors, and even Afternoon Express presenters the skills to excel.
That was absolutely amazing. And there you have it. Ryan Botha isn't just a star on the soccer pitch. He's also a man with a heart of gold, helping these young men achieve their dreams and goals. Let's hold on to that inspiration this Youth Day.
Thank you so much for all of the work that you do with our youth, Ryan. It is so great to see people just like yourself sharing their knowledge and expertise.
Up next, we go behind the scenes of a brand new production of Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoats, and we pick the brains of some of the visionaries behind it.
Our pharmacies are on the front line of healthcare. This is Pharmacy of the Week.
As pharmacists, we play a vital role in healthcare, which extends beyond dispensing. We counsel, educate, and support our patients, and most importantly, care for our patients by ensuring optimal treatment and promoting rational drug use. Serving my community isn't just my job, it's my responsibility and privilege. As a pharmacist in a small town like Ermelo, my community holds deep importance to me because I'm not just a health professional. I'm also a neighbor, a friend, and a familiar face to the community. I believe healthcare goes beyond prescriptions and consultations. It's about building trust and understanding the local needs, thus offering personalized care. Every opportunity to educate and offer a helping hand helps strengthen the bond with the people around me.
Pharmacy-initiated therapy is a powerful tool to improve access to healthcare. It reflects the evolving role of pharmacists in the community. Brave to me as a pharmacist means while waking up every day, coming to work, facing your hardships, regardless of the hardships and your personal challenges, coming in and just helping the people and being strong and being there for your community.
Pharmacy of the Week, proudly brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave.
Peter Toreen and the Leighton Alexander Musical Theatre Academy have given an exciting new life to a favorite classic, Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
We just had to see it for ourselves, and the cast and crew welcomed us backstage to see them warm up and to tell us exactly how they've done it.
Co-founder Dwayne Alexander and the entire Lamtop team are giving an entertaining new twist to the Andrew Lloyd Webber hit musical.
Our vision for this production of Joseph was to make it as fresh as possible. There are a lot of people who know Joseph, who love Joseph, who've seen Joseph 5, 6, 7 times. So we wanted to make sure that they came to the theatre. They still got what they expected, but they also got a lot of what they didn't expect. And that sort of unexpected element of something really fresh, really funky, really contemporary, really modern, wonderful lighting, great sound. You know, you can't sit there and not be enjoying yourself. And when you have all this talent and all this energy coming at you, you literally float out of the theatre.
The lead role of Joseph is played by Dylan Janse van Rensburg, a LAMTA graduate whose acting journey began when he played this same role in his high school production of the musical. Now, for his professional debut, it all comes full circle.
Playing Joseph has been an absolute fantastic opportunity because it brings so much light to people with queries and questions about their dreams, and it shows that no matter what you do, you can always follow your dreams and there's a better outcome for you in the future. So being able to portray this role has been an exciting journey, especially from all the other people that have played Joseph before in their lives, like Earl Gregory, and he's one of my role models at the moment, and he's just fantastic to be able to step into his shoes. It's incredible. So to prepare myself in a physical way for this show, because it is so taxing, is I do a proper warm-up with the cast. So usually Anna Olivier, who's our dance captain, or Jaden Dixon, who's our assistant dance captain, takes us for a warm-up. And that's the part where we all get to focus as a cast. It's the off time we meet for the first time in a day, and they make sure that our bodies are nice and juiced up and ready to flow and prepare us for this rake and stage. And then I do a little bit of an extra workout because I am shirtless majority of the show, so it can't look like I've just had my avocado on toast with 4 eggs in a day. So that's what I do.
The vision of the choreography for Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat is, simply put, fun and energy. It's something that's so various because I think there's so many different types of songs in the show that it calls for different styles of dance. For example, we're introducing hip hop into this production, which is something fresh and a bit edgy for audiences. Working with this cast is literally a dream come true. They're young, first and foremost, so they have got a lot of energy, and I think our take on the choreography, the new take on the choreography, and this fresh hip-hop, commercial, jazzy style that we bring to the show calls for a younger cast to deliver it, and they do. They hit the nail on the head.
Fondly known as LAMTA, the Leighton Alexander Musical Theatre Academy is dedicated to nurturing talent with a focus on excellence, innovation, and diversity.
LAMTA's involvement in this production is as co-producers, but also we have nurtured probably about 60% of the talent in this production. Everyone who's on that stage is professional in terms of they've graduated, have been in the industry, some of them for 5, 10 years, but the majority of the cast are young, and it's so wonderful to see all that hard work that they put into their 3 years at LAMTA come to sort of fruition, and for them to be able to display their wonderful talents.
As one of the vocal coaches at LAMTA, this has been a real honor for me to see so many of my students on the stage and to work with some of my really great friends from the industry. It's like being a proud mom watching all our beautiful students collaborate with new professionals in the industry. So it's been really, really special. Because there is no script for Joseph, it's an entirely sung-through musical. The voices tell the story, and so the amount of beautiful voices that we have singing this beautiful music really energizes this sound that we're trying to create.
The role of narrator is in the capable hands of Lelo Ramasmong, a seasoned performer with extensive experience in theatre, TV, and musicals.
Approaching the role of the narrator in the show has been very interesting for me because I've never watched Joseph before. When they called me initially to audition for the narrator, I thought, oh, narrator, that's easy, right? But lo and behold, it's not easy at all. She has a lot of information that she kind of spews at the audience every second that she gets. So for me, I had to be really careful in not just making it about the information, but actually having a character. And the more I delved into the character, the more I saw myself as Joseph's ancestor, sort of in the show, because I'm there, but I'm not there. Nobody else can see me. They can only see me when I want them to see me. So I'm like this vague spiritual energy that's around them and that makes everything light up.
Actor and former top-billing presenter Christopher Jafter plays the diverse roles of Jacob, Potiphar, and the Pharaoh.
I play 3 different roles. The way I balance it is they've written it very nicely so that I have some time to kind of prep for the different roles. Jacob's more grounded, he's earthly, he is the father of all of these beautiful kids, and he's warm and one of those cool dads. And then you have Potiphar, who's this uptight, stuck-up character, and then obviously the showstopper is Pharaoh with some of the biggest songs in the show, which was the hardest character for me to actually find because we're not trying to emulate Elvis, even though the song was written and composed in that sort of style, and you can't get away from it because Elvis is the original king of rock and roll. He made rock and roll what it was. Preparing for such quick character transitions is basically just foundations that have been laid, from my career previously. Moving from stage to film is always easier from moving from film to stage because you have the foundations of acting from stage. It's obviously a lot bigger, a lot more out there with your movements and expressions, but the truth still remains. So it's a very tricky balance. On film, you get a lot of time to get into the zone and then perfect that one take. With theater, you've got to get in and get out. There are a couple of moments with some of my characters that are very poignant, and the reason why we've had a couple of tears and sniffles in the audience is because the moments are truthful. And so it does take a lot out of you, but you can't be running from this character, tears streaming down your face and going into Pharaoh, you know what I mean? You gotta break in and break out and then get to the next one.
Versatile director and Lambda co-founder Anton Leiting has impressed audiences worldwide with his talent on stage as well as behind the scenes.
It's incredible to be able to relook at this show sort of, 2017, so almost 10 years since I did it. Played one of the brothers and I played Pharaoh in that production. What was exciting about it is it's now 10 years later, there's a new generation of youngsters out there who haven't seen the show, and there is a license to play around a little bit in terms of how it's staged and to contemporize it and to put in sort of contemporary references that people find funny, because for me, there's a lot of humor in Joseph. And yes, there is a biblical element, but there's also, for those people that aren't as religious, there's a spiritual element to the show. So one kind of went, in 2025, if you think of a youngster's perception of entertainment nowadays, that's fast moving, pacey movies, how does one adjust this timeless classic to be something that entertains a youngster in 2025? And this production does it all. It entertains 8-year-olds to 80-year-olds. It really does have a lot of meaning to some people, so you can't lose that authenticity, that message, that beautiful aspect that resonates with people, but you can also at the same time play around with some of the comedy and stuff. So you walk a sort of fine line, and you've got to be able to connect the dots.
Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat is on now at the Theatre on the Bay in Cape Town, moving to the Peter Terrene Theatre in Monte Casino in Johannesburg from July to mid-September.
This is a production you should try to get to see. It'll make you feel happy and excited about South Africa's wealth of youthful theatrical talent.
Absolutely, Ayanda. And as a thespian myself, that looks so entertaining. I can't wait to grab a ticket. Thank you so much, Mzansi, for joining us tonight. We hope that you've enjoyed your Youth Day, and we wish you nothing but the best in achieving your personal dreams and aspirations.
Please catch the repeats on Sunday morning at 8:30, but see you again next Tuesday evening at 6, only on S3.
Another feel-good production.